Hey y'all, it's Casey. Today I am going to show you how I made an ornament like this and the silicone mold itself. I am the only one in the world who has this mold and I love it. And I used the X-Tool P2 55-watt CO2 laser engraver to cut the acrylic to do this. Now I'm going to show you how I made the pattern. I found this pattern on Creative Fabrica and I decided I wanted to turn it into a door hanger mold. Just one you can hang on the doorknob. Or you can put it on a Christmas tree as an ornament, you know. You can hang it in your car. It's really a cute mold. But all you gotta do is click on the icon, highlight it, go up, hit outline. Then you're going to set your outline width. I'm going to go for a 5. And then after I hit the 5, I'm going to hit enter. And it's going to automatically outline the photo. Okay. Next, I want to outline the other piece, because this is going to be the outside box. This outline is going to create the pieces I need to make the outside box. So I'm going to set it as a 5 as well. Everything I do, I set at 5s. Now I'm going to simply highlight this, group it together. You just hit group up top, copy the image, and I forgot that you have to paste it. I put that image back, and now I'm going to paste the image that I copied, and I'm going to set it beside the other ones. Then I'm simply going to highlight the entire surface, and then once I highlight the entire surface up top, I'm going to get an option to group this, and I'm going to group it all together, and then I'm going to resize it to fit it to my canvas. So I'm moving it around, kind of getting it in place. Now I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to click the bottom corner, and I'm going to resize it to fit the canvas. Now I'm going to go up, I'm going to click on my right hand side, and I'm going to ungroup these. Once these are ungrouped, I'm going to highlight the one I want, and I'm going to go over and I'm going to click copy. And now I'm just going to go down below it and paste the image again. And now I'm just going to drag it and set the image in place. Now I'm just going to highlight the one I want, and I'm going to copy this one and paste it below. The reason I'm making 2 copies of this is because the pieces are going to be small, and I was afraid I would lose some. And in the end, even making 2, I did end up losing some. Now I'm going to highlight the entire image, and I'm going to group it, and then I'm going to adjust it to fit the canvas again. Once I get this in the position I want, I am going to go up to user-defined materials, and I am going to scroll down until I find transparent. Once I find transparent acrylic, that's what I'm going to click. And then I'm going to go over and I'm going to set the score option is going to get changed to cut. Okay. Once I change it to cut, it's going to give me the X-Tool screen here, and you can click on this and you can see what it would take to cut the acrylic on your machine that you have selected. And of course I'm using the X-Tool P2, so I'm trying to show you guys that it's really light and hard to see even on screen what the suggested cutting pattern was. So it said 80 and 20, so that's what I'm going to set it to. 80 and 20 was right in between the first cut and the third cut, so I figured that was the safest options to go with. And I'm going to do the exact same thing on this part. I'm going to set it to 80 and 20, and it was already set at cut. Now everything's going to be set at cut, and it's already set for transparent acrylic. All I need now is to go and hook up my P2 and hit go to process, and I will cut all of these pieces and glue them all together and show you guys my mold housing that I built in order to create this. Now I've already hit go to process and I've hooked up my machine, and now I'm letting you guys watch the laser go through this. Of course, I've got this on hyperspeed, so you guys didn't have to sit through the entire 15 minutes it took to cut this at most. It cuts really, really fast, and it cuts really, really well. I didn't have my settings right. The 80 and the 20 would have been right, but I played adjustment, and it didn't pay off, so I had to do a second pass. And the second pass went great. Everything cut perfectly. You can see it falling through. That is my settings. I do not suggest you follow my settings. I suggest you do a cut test first. I will be showing you how to do a cut test with this machine. It is very simple and is well worth doing. But here's all the little bitty pieces, and I gathered what I could. Now I've peeled off some of the pieces of paper on the acrylic, and I'm just taking UV resin and going around the edges of each of these pieces and sticking them all together, making sure that I have a good seal all the way around and no leakage on the inside. You have to be very, very careful of the amount of UV resin you use when doing this. And I went ahead and put this guy together because, well, it was a lot of little pieces and would have took a lot of time on camera. So I did lose the hat, and I did make him a little hat out of UV resin, and it actually came out really cute, and it worked really well. You could draw your own stripes and your own pattern on that one like I did. Okay, right now I am just showing you that this piece right there does come in handy because of the fact that you can center your project with it. You can just stick it in, do not glue it down, put your UV resin on the piece that you want to put in the center, what's going to be your mold. You're going to put your UV resin on the flat back side of the casting, and when you take and put your casting piece down, you're going to make sure that you have covered all your sides with the UV resin. The sides are what matters because that's going to keep it from leaking, and press it down inside that center piece and make sure to remove that center piece after you are done. Now I'm going around the mold and I'm going to build up the sides. I want to get these side walls up above the actual coaster. It's got to sit above the coaster so that I'm able to pour my silicone down in it, and it's got to stick together very well. I know a lot of people use super glues or different glues to do this too. That would work wonderful, but I'm using what I had on hand. I had UV resin right here, and I thought, well, UV resin would hold it in place really well. I just was worried about seepages because this UV resin is very, very thin, and I was worried it was going to seep inside, but I had absolutely no problems going slow and taking my time and outlining each edge and then attaching it and using the UV light to cure it. And I do this 3 times to build up the sidewall one depth deeper than the actual casting. Once you have built up all of your sidewalls, it should look like this. You should have a depth of 3 at least on the sides and 1 base piece, and then you should have no center piece and then your casting. That's what you will have left at the end of the day. Now it's time to take your 2-part silicone. I am using BBDINO. You mix equal parts of side A and side B. This is a 20A platinum silicone, and it is very squishy and soft, and I really like the finished product, but it seems like it takes a few extra days to cure with this one, maybe a week extra for it to be fully cured and not sticky to the touch. But you want to weigh equal parts or measure equal parts of your silicone in your measuring cup. I don't think this is going to take more than 1.5 ounces to 2 ounces to make. So I'm going to make 2 ounces, 1 ounce part A, 1 ounce part B. And then it's time to pour the silicone mixture into the casting. Okay, I've made my mold housing. I'm going to take my silicone. I'm going to pour it onto the stick and let it roll off of the stick. This is going to help dissipate bubbles and help it get into those little bitty parts. Those little bitty parts are what you've got to worry about right now. So I'm going to go very slowly, and I'm going to pour my silicone in and let it reach the top in a slow, slow, slow pattern. I want to go easy over top of each and every little part so I can make sure the hats and the words and everything gets silicone down in them. Now, it's been at least 24 hours later, and I'm going to take some Eco Stone, and I'm going to mix my Eco Stone with some green resin creep pigment by J. Diction, and I am going to pour into the mold we just made. Okay, so I've mixed up my resin crepe, and I'm going to add a few drops of the green pigment. I've decided I wanted to marble this, so I'm going to try to do marbling. If I can only get it half as good as Michelle from Glitz and Glitter, I will be extremely proud of myself. But look, the little ring come off on me. Isn't that great? Of course. And then I'm just going to put a couple more drops of this green in there. It's a really beautiful dark green. Love it. And I'm going to mix it around. And then I'm just going to take and pour this mixture slowly into the mold, because I don't want to lose that beautiful marbling, and I want it to touch the mold. So I'm going around it. I think I went a little too fast because a lot of it didn't come out as marbled as I was hoping. I decided to add a couple more drops because I was losing color on the top. And honestly, as much color as it had left in it probably would have done the trick, because it really didn't need the extra color. But I went ahead and done it, and I love, love, love the marble effect. I mean, it is just beautiful. With the natural stone look of the Eco Stone. Eco Stone has not always been one of my favorite ecos to work with, but I do like it. And now you're going to really want to wiggle and jiggle and everything, and I should have only poured this halfway full before doing this. I was not thinking of that because of the little words. When using Eco Stone and you have a lot of little nooks and crannies, you really got to get it down in there. And, you know, I didn't think about that. And I was wanting to marble, so I was just thinking about how beautiful the marble would look and how I could paint it once it got done. Now, 24 hours later, yes, I did wait 24 hours on these guys because the Eco Stone is very brittle. So I do recommend waiting 24 hours with Eco Stone. But I'm waiting 24 hours, and it's time to demold this guy and see what he looks like. And first thing I noticed is that green pigment on my new mold. I did get it cleaned up. It did stain it a little bit. But the green pigment on my new mold was just like, you know. But here is the beautiful mold it made. Isn't that gorgeous? And once I paint in the hats and everything, it is going to be so super cute. I absolutely adore this little mold. And it's got 2 little holes in the top so that you can take and hang it on a ribbon or a string or whatever you want. And hang it on your door handle. Hang it in your car. You can leave it without doing anything to it and make it in, put something on the back of it and use it as a coaster mold. I mean, whatever you want to do with these guys. And here is the extra I made out of it. I actually love that green. That green is just fabulous. And it did do really well considering what I was working on. I mean, it did a really great job. The little candle holder actually came out really nice too. I'll be sealing the outside of this, and then I'm going to fill it with some candle wax, some scented candle wax, and make myself a little candle jar out of it. I think it came out really cute. I really like it. It'll be nice on my nightstand. Now, I'm just going to take a white acrylic marker, and I'm just going to paint the beards of the hats and the words, or around the words, the tag. And I have myself a beautiful little door hanger. I'm going to finish it off and do these tires, and I'm going to call it done. What do you guys think? The lettering didn't come out perfectly on this one, but I'm going to show you one that did. Upcoming is the silicone mold housing, the silicone mold, and the finished product. And if you're interested in buying one of these, please contact me at CWV-Artistry@gmail.com. You guys have a beautiful, blessed day. Thank you for joining me. Please like, share, and subscribe.